It's time for my September TBR. I am so excited this month because I just have a feeling it's going to be a really good reading month. I will talk about my August wrap up in a couple of videos time. I can't remember exactly when I'm uploading it, but August was a really good month. I feel like I'm getting back into the swing of things, and so I feel like September is just going to build upon August. I also have some time off work because I am going to Italy for a friend's wedding. While we will be doing a lot of touristy stuff, we're starting off in Rome, then travelling for the wedding and then ending up in Rome again. I'm also expecting there to be a lot of downtime because a couple of the days we're going on some long road trips. One of the days we are travelling to the wedding, which is going to take about 2.5–3 hours. And then obviously there are the plane journeys as well. So I'm expecting to get a lot of reading done. Once I'm back from Italy, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, work is going to be chill. It had better be chill. And so I have a lot of ambitious reading plans. I'm really excited for all of these books I'm about to mention. I think starting off, let me talk about my themed reading, because as you may know, along with a bunch of other booktubers, really enjoy reading to a certain theme if we've got something going on in the month. And so I've picked out some books based around weddings or based around or in Italy. Because I don't know what I'm going to be in the mood for when I'm traveling or while I'm there, I've picked out a bunch of books. I don't know if I'll want to read like thrillers or contemporary, historical maybe, so I've got a bunch of options. The first one being The Wedding People. This one was a best-selling book of last year, I think. It was nominated for the Goodreads Choice Awards. This is about a woman who is traveling to a hotel, and I think she's planning on taking her own life, but then she gets involved with the wedding party and meets the bride who is getting married at this hotel. And I think it's about like just two people, their worlds colliding, and how that can really change the trajectory of your life. I've heard really good things about this one. I hope that I enjoy it. I fully acknowledge that it's a bit of a depressing book to read while planning to travel for a wedding, but my friend, like, she accepts me for who I am. Another book that I picked out from my TBR that I've owned for a while is The Wolf Den. This is historical fiction set in Rome, in Pompeii actually. It follows a woman called Amara who is enslaved in Pompeii. It's the first book in a trilogy. I don't know if the main character is trying to break out of slavery to escape the brothel that she is currently imprisoned in or stuck in. I did try reading this one quite a while ago when I first bought it, but I just couldn't get into it at the time, so I'm hoping while I'm in Rome or Pompeii I will be able to, you know, get into the right headspace. I've also picked out The Marriage Portrait by Maggie O'Farrell. This is another historical book. This one is set in the 1500s. It follows a young woman who is married to this awful guy, and he takes her to their countryside villa and she realises that he plans to kill her there. I don't know anything else about it. The blurb on the back is very, very short. I know that Maggie O'Farrell is a very popular author. I've tried to read a book by her in the past. That was Hamnet. I don't know, that one just didn't really grab me. I don't love Shakespeare anyway, and so the whole like setting, time period was just not for me. So I'm gonna try this one and hopefully I really enjoy it. And then another historical book, because apparently people are just writing loads of historical Italian fiction or historical fiction sets in Italy. I've picked out Beneath a Scarlet Sky. This one is set during World War II and I believe it's based on a true story. I haven't really looked into this to see if the author does the real person justice and is respectful about it, but I should hope so because I know that this is a very popular author and this is a fairly popular book. It says here that the main character just wants to be a normal Italian teenager, and when his family home in Milan is destroyed by Allied bombs, the main character joins an underground railroad helping Jews escape over the Alps. And in an attempt to protect him, his parents force him to enlist as a German soldier, and then he is injured and recruited to become the personal driver for Adolf Hitler's left hand in Italy. This one does sound quite dark, depressing, but again, I want to read it. I've also picked out a whole other list of books that I would like to read. I've got them on my phone and I've got a couple of these on my Kobo now. A couple of them I haven't bought yet just because I don't know what I'm going to be in the mood for. I can get books out there if I need to. So alongside the ones that I've just mentioned, my other options are The Amalfi Curse. This is a historical thriller sort of thing, I think. The Last Passenger. This one isn't set in Italy, it's just a thriller set at sea. I felt like I wanted like a coastal ocean thriller. Out of Air, another book that isn't set in Italy. I believe this one's actually set in Australia. It's about divers in Australia. I thought this would be a good one to read on holiday. Family Holiday. This is about family who go on holiday. You can understand the theme here. Mother of Rome, obviously this one is set in Rome. That's a historical, mythological kind of book based around the mother of Remus and Romulus, the founders of Rome. Firebird, which is a fantasy book set in a Rome-inspired fantasy world. And then finally Parents' Weekend, which again is like a summer thriller book by an author that I've really enjoyed before. So those are my options for Italy. I don't think I'm going to read all of them, that would be kind of mad, but I'm hoping to at least get through a few, and I'll just see what I'm in the mood for, where the, you know, inspiration strikes. I might pick something entirely different once I actually get out there, who knows. You may have noticed that back in August I posted my first Zero TBR reading through my bookshelves challenge, and so I'm currently working on episode 2, and I thought I would give you guys a sneak peek of what's going on there. 2 of the books that I'm planning on reading in September for that challenge: The Scourge Between Stars. This is a short sci-fi horror novella. This is about a colony ship that is trying to reach a distant planet. They've escaped Earth, but it's not going very well. Their ship is slowing down, which is not ideal. So the main character is trying to figure out whether to kind of persevere to this new planet or to turn back around and head back to Earth. Like, both options are not very good. And then something starts killing the people on the ship, so that adds a whole other element of horror threat. It's a very short book, it's under 150 pages, so I'm going to fly through this one. I'm really excited for it. I know it's not got the best reviews, but I do love a space horror, so I'm here for this. And also for that video I've got Severance, which is a dystopian book. I believe there's some sort of plague that wipes out humans. I don't know if it's like all humans, but the main character nevertheless is a survivor. It says here that the main character, along with a small group of survivors, hopes to start society anew, but she is carrying a secret. It says here that Severance is a moving family story, a sharp satire, and a heartfelt tribute to the connections that drive us to do more than survive. I've had this one on my TBR for a while. I'm so glad that the challenge has made me finally pick it up. I hope that I love it. A random book that I have picked up from my shelf is Can't Spell Treason Without Tea, because I just felt like I needed something a bit more cozier, and this is a queer cozy fantasy about pirates. I don't know if there are dragons. There's a dragon on the front cover, but I've not heard much about this book, to be honest, apart from the piracy side of things. I did hear that the reviewers of this book were saying that it was too gay, and so the author for the second book made it 100 times gayer. So we'll see. I hope that I love this one. I like that kind of energy. I'm very hyped to try this and hopefully carry on with the series. Something else that I'm hoping to do in September, it's another kind of project thing. I'm hoping to record a few videos in advance for October. I really enjoy doing like themed spooky videos for October, and I've got a couple of ideas. For one of these videos I'm planning on reading Cold Eternity by S.A. Barnes, and I'm hoping to slot this into September because I'm really hyped to get to this one. S.A. Barnes writes space horror books. I've not read her second book, Ghost Station, yet, but that's on the cards very soon, and then I'm going to get to Cold Eternity. I'm very excited. Her book Dead Silence was absolutely fantastic, and I've not heard amazing things about these other 2 books, particularly this one, but I don't think many people loved Dead Silence anyway, so I think I'm gonna adore them because, again, love space horror. This one didn't fit into the reading my bookshelf challenge video because it's just not on the right bookshelf for that, but I'm hoping to read it anyway. And then finally I'm hoping to, for October, do a part 2 of my witchy reading vlog. I posted the first one last October, really enjoyed it, found some absolutely fantastic books. And so I picked out 3 more from my shelves that are witch related. I've also got more, like way more on my shelf, but these are the main ones that I'm excited to get to. So the first one is The Book of Witching by C.J. Cook. This is a very popular author. I've got a couple of books by her on my shelf. It says here that it's set partly in Glasgow in 2024 and partly in Orkney in 1594. And there's some sort of like witchy connection between the characters from both timelines. I've also got The King's Witches, which follows Princess Anna of Denmark as she's travelling to marry the King of Scotland. And then somehow witches are involved. And this is really interesting because I'm also in the middle of reading Witchcraft, and this is a non-fiction book. I've mentioned it a couple of times before. I've been reading it very slowly because I just didn't have time to properly commit to it in July, and then August just kind of like passed me by. I was reading other stuff. This follows 13 different witch trials throughout the centuries, and I actually read about Princess Anna from the other book in this book earlier on, and so I've got the like historical context for it, and I'm really excited to read The King's Witches with that context and see what it's like as a fiction book. So anyway, I'm also going to carry on with Witchcraft, A History in 13 Trials. I think I've got maybe 9 more trials to read about. So far we've been in Germany, Scotland, America, and now I think I'm back in England. So yeah, looking forward to reading this one. So that's my September TBR. Let me know if you've read any of these books, what you think of them, tell me what you'll be reading in September. As you can tell, I'm really excited to get reading this month. I'm really excited for my holiday, it's going to be fantastic. And I'm really excited to carry on with the projects that I've been doing. I'm just so pleased that everyone really liked the Zero TBR reading vlog that I did. And I'm just so hyped for part 2 because I'm finally reading some books that have been on my shelf for a while, and it's such a good project for that. So stay tuned, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you all in the next video. Bye!